Brake lines and hoses are not typically considered regular maintenance items, but they should always be inspected when any brake service is performed, and if they show any signs of age or wear, it's a good idea to recommend they be replaced. Brake hoses are necessary for the brake fluid to reach the brakes at each wheel while allowing for steering, suspension, and caliper movement. Depending on the type of brakes and suspension, vehicles may have as few as 3 hoses. 4 is typical for most vehicles today, but in some cases there may be more. During an inspection, cracks or bulges in a hose indicates they require immediate replacement. If a hose is stretched, twisted, or rubbing from incorrect mounting, it should also be replaced, and the metal crimp fittings at the ends of the hoses should also be inspected. These fittings rust and corrode over time, and when they do, the tension of the crimp loosens, and the hydraulic pressure inside the brake system can overcome the crimp, rupture the hose, and cause immediate loss of brakes. Even when no obvious signs are visible, when your customer is replacing brake calipers, it's a perfect time to recommend hoses because when a caliper is worn out, it's likely the hoses aren't far behind. And this can also prevent caliper returns because a restricted hose is often misdiagnosed as a bad caliper. Brake lines are frequently ignored because it's easy to think of them as non-wearing parts. In general, that's true, but the demise of most lines is rust. They should be inspected from beginning to end to look closely for any signs of scaled-up rust on the line. Common areas for hidden rust are where each line is secured or clipped to the underbody or frame, running through rubber insulators or grommets, or routed through areas you cannot see. These points trap moisture, dirt, and road chemicals, and this is almost always the first place they rust through. Some lines are coated when new, but any exposed areas of the line or areas where the coating is damaged or rubbed through are still susceptible to corrosion and failure. Inspect these lines just as closely. When lines need replaced, steel lines are the original equipment on most vehicles, but many prefer to replace them with nickel-copper alloy brake tubing. This modern alloy line meets all international and US requirements for brake tubing, and it is far more resistant to corrosion than steel. Perhaps the biggest benefit is it's really easy to bend, making it much easier to avoid kinks and damage during installation. If your customer is new to this line, you can feel confident in recommending it. Thanks for watching.